People think they fall apart at the end of the day because they're weak. The truth is, you fall apart because you've been strong for too long without a break. The end of the day is when the truth finally catches up with us. The truth about our energy, our limits, and the emotional weight we've been quietly carrying. Now, the evening collapse isn't failure, it's release. There's a moment, usually sometime after dinner, when your body finally stops negotiating with you. All day long, you've been pushing. You've been holding things together. You've been managing emotions, yours and everyone else's. You've been performing strength, but at night the performance ends. Your body knows you're finally safe enough to feel what you've been avoiding. And so it lets go. It unravels. It releases. That's not weakness, that's biology. That's humanity. You've been running on borrowed energy all day. Now, most people don't realize how much of their day is powered by adrenaline. You push through the morning. You push through the afternoon. You push through the early evening. You override your fatigue. You override your emotions and you override your limits. But adrenaline is a loan, and every loan comes due. At night, when the world quiets down, your body finally sends the bill, and the bill is always higher than you expect. Now, your brain has no more bandwidth, because by the end of the day, your brain has made thousands of decisions, big ones, small ones, invisible ones, because now decision fatigue is real. Emotional fatigue is real. Social fatigue is real. And when your brain runs out of bandwidth, it doesn't ask politely. It shuts down. It drops things. It forgets things. It gets irritable. It gets overwhelmed by the smallest task. You're not falling apart. You're overloaded. There's a difference. You've been holding in emotions all day. Most adults spend their entire day managing emotions they don't have time to feel. You swallow frustration. You push down sadness. You ignore anxiety and you postpone grief. You delay disappointment. You tell yourself, I'll deal with this later. And later always comes at night. When the distractions fade, the emotions return. Not because they're new, but because they finally have space to speak. This is why tears come easier at night. This is why small things feel bigger. And this is why you feel more fragile. Your emotions aren't attacking you, they're catching up to you. At night, the mask comes off. And during the day, most of us wear a version of ourselves that's functional. It's capable, steady, composed, responsible. But at night, the mask gets heavy. You don't have the energy to pretend anymore. You don't have the strength to hold the posture. You don't have the bandwidth to keep performing fine. So the real you, the tired you, the honest you, finally steps forward. And that version of you deserves compassion, not judgment. The weight you carry has to land somewhere. Every day you carry responsibilities, expectations, emotional labor, invisible stress and unspoken worries, the needs of others and the pressure to stay strong. You carry it quietly. You carry it well. You carry it without applause. But weight doesn't disappear. It transfers. And at the end of the day, it lands on you all at once. That's why the evenings feel heavier. That's why the smallest thing can tip you over. That's why you break down. Not because you're weak, but because you've been carrying too much, too silently, and you've been carrying it for too long. Now realize breaking down is a form of healing. And here's the part most people never hear. Your breakdown is not a failure, it's a release valve. It's your body protecting you. It's your mind decompressing. It's your emotions recalibrating. Breaking down at the end of the day is your system saying, you've done enough. You've carried enough. You've held it together long enough. Now let me take over. This is not collapse, this is restoration. And here's what you can do with this awareness. You don't need to fix the evenings. You need to understand them. You need gentler transitions. You need softer expectations. You need permission to be human. You need space to feel what you've been postponing. And you need to stop judging yourself for the moment your strength finally runs out. Because that moment is not the end of your strength, it's the beginning of your healing. If you break down at the end of the day, it's not because you're failing. It's because you've been strong all day long. You've been carrying more than anyone realizes. You've been holding yourself together in ways no one sees. Now, your breakdown is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you're human and that you've reached a place where your body finally feels safe enough to let go. And that letting go is the first step toward becoming whole again. So you take care. Stay connected.